And I want to ask you about that dichotomy tonight between the very progressive people, Bernie Sanders, Democratic Socialist, a very tough reformer, what you call it, structural change person, Senator Warren, and then on the other side, all the other moderates challenging them. Where are you in all this? Are you in the middle?
Yes, and I consider myself a proven progressive because I've gotten things done. And I think there is more unanimity than you could tell by tonight because they were looking for divides. I think people, one, want to win. Two, they want to bring down the cost of health care. They just have different ways to get there. And my point here is that I am not running for chair of the Democratic National Committee. I'm running for president. And that means that you have to put out front and center how you think you're going to get there. And I think the best way is with a competitive public option. You can do it with Medicaid or Medicare. And I don't think it's less bold. Barack Obama wanted to do that. It was bold then, it's bold today. It's simply that we have a disagreement on how to get there. And my concern that on page 8 of Bernie's bill, as much as I love working with him on pharma prices, on page 8 it says that basically half of America will lose their current insurance. And I don't agree with that.
What about the question that Jake Tapper kept asking, you got no answer to? Right now, when you have Medicare, you get it after you turn 65. That costs a certain amount of taxes you have to pay every time you get a paycheck. Obviously, if it's going to cover your entire life, it's going to require a higher tax. And they wouldn't answer that.
No, they don't want to answer it because it looks good on a bumper sticker to say it, and it's very appealing. I will say one thing we all agree with is that the Republicans stand for Medicare cuts for all. So there's one argument. But on our side, people want to legitimately build on the Affordable Care Act. I just want to follow that doctor's creed and do no harm. And that's what I'm afraid about with their bill.
The hottest issue for Trump last time was immigration. What's the Democrats' response? What I heard tonight was decriminalize people who are undocumented. Basically, don't make it a crime. Is that a way of responding to Trump saying, I want a wall? Or is it going in a totally different direction?
I think that Trump has gotten us to this place, gotten our country to this place with the chaos he's created at the border, using these people as political pawns. And he wants this to be the argument. I tried to take it to another place, Chris. I really did. And that is that we need comprehensive immigration reform. And when Pete Buttigieg had a lot of good points tonight, said, well, there's no will to do it. There was. We passed it in 2013. And now we have the House of Representatives that wants to get it done. And you just need a president not to wait till the end of their term, which has now happened with 2 presidents. It has to happen right away. And that is my goal. That means half the citizenship, and it means more money to make sure that we are handling those asylum cases.
We're going to go back to Brian. Thank you, Senator Obi Klobuchar was a great contestant tonight.
Thank you.
Contestant's the right word. Back to you, Brian.
Senator, thank you.
Like
Chris Matthews, thank you.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.